Most hero sections are boring, like criminally boring. We all know the bland templates. You know what? Let me just show you real quick what we can do at FabBuilds. I'll stop talking. So today I'm going to show you how to design an actual hero page that is interesting to the eye. Isn't AI generic like we all see? Anyone can create a website, but a good one, and one that converts customers for your clients, and also one that is just goddamn impressive. So let's get started. Okay, so first I want to start off with this site called Cosmos. I don't know if you've heard about it. There's a lot of ads going around on Instagram right now, and Cosmos have these beautiful editorial pictures. You can kind of think about it as your web design version of Pinterest that just gives you inspiration on your wildest artistic dreams, right? And so what I did was create a board. So what I'm going to do is open up my account here. I have this hero page section. I open up this. I got inspiration from this hero page. There's this woman, she has headphones. It's huge. You can see that there's like a white border around it. I absolutely loved it and wanted to recreate it on my own. And what we did was move this idea over to Figma, and I'll show you how we did that. I decided that I want the background to be this beautiful gradient that will emphasize the woman or the man wearing headphones, whoever it was going to be. I didn't know at the time. There's a bunch of plugins that you can choose from, but the one that I selected was called Noisy Gradient, and it generates new gradients for you. And the one that I generated came from this plugin. So from there, I actually wanted to play around with typography. So I played around with some Google fonts. These Google fonts, I wanted them to be bold and I wanted them to be big. So I use Anton, I use Babas Nui. I probably messed up that name completely, but these two fonts I interchanged inside of the product. So what I did was just download those fonts and then I uploaded them into Figma. If you've made it to this part of the video, please subscribe, because not only do I have fellow engineers that follow me, but people who are actually interested in systems or even web design. My name is Fab and I'm the co-founder of FabBuilds. We build internal systems and tools for businesses every single day, and we also like to do a little bit of web design as well. So follow along if these things interest you and you actually find these videos useful. First, we need someone to showcase these headphones, right? And I wanted it to be a person as well. So we use Gemini, their create image. I have the free version, so anyone can do this. I asked it to basically generate underneath the create image a side profile headshot of a young woman wearing over the ear headphones, eyes closed, slight head back tilt, expression of pure enjoyment. And we got this generation here that AI had made. I asked if it could remove the background and it was unable to. So I actually like to use this other site to remove the background for me, which is this site called Remove Background. You can remove a background 100% free and it does a pretty good job. And then after you upload the image, you can move it into Canva, do further editing, or just take it inside of your Adobe Photoshop. One of the things that we did for that generated image, after we removed the background, we changed the PNG to SVG with our Photoshop. So our Adobe Suite was able to do that. We do pay for that if you wanted the SVG. If you don't know the difference of why an SVG is important versus PNG or JPEG, basically those pixels, when you zoom into an image, it can be really, really hard to keep the same quality, like that clarity of a photo. And so SVG is really, really good for doing that versus your JPEG or your PNG. Okay, let's move back into Figma to show you the design process. So I imported her in and used Anton and the other font and played around with typography and where I wanted her positioned. I started adding CTAs just to understand where I wanted the user to click and played around with positioning. So these were the first two versions, and I ended up liking the version with her a little bit closer to the screen, with Bliss spread out a little bit more instead of being above her. Both versions I actually had a hard time deciding, but when you're designing and in the design process and the mood is flowing, you kind of want to make certain judgment calls. And so I went with a bigger, expanded version of her with Bliss in the background and our Shop Now CTA. From there, we played around a little bit with where your world louder would be. Ultimately, we wanted to make sure that, hey, this is a catchphrase or something that we wanted to use. And instead of just kind of stacking it, we made it longer. That variation became a variation of adding the headphones from the C product detail, kind of mimicking the Cosmo inspiration that we saw earlier. And at this point, I wasn't thinking about using the white border, and so that's going to come up very shortly here. So we have a couple different iterations with her with the headphones instead of the headphone picture, changing out color, not liking the color, and then moving on back to white. And this is where we put your world louder above Bliss. In total, these are the variations that we went through, and we actually ended up using this scene right here. We added the white border with Bliss. We have some buttons that we can navigate to in the website, and it kind of morphed into these three scenes that you see here. I actually wanted a little bit of movement to happen with the site, so we have the big scene with Bliss that moves into the second scene with the border, and then from that border scene we have like another headphone sliding in. Later on in my coding process, after like putting this into code, I actually didn't want the Shop Now to be in the middle, and so it ended up being at the side. But essentially this is where we stopped, and there are multiple versions, and you'll find yourself inside of the design process going through multiple iterations until you find something right. And sometimes even then you'll still tweak it like I did. It changes, and you have to be open to that change and being open to not settling on the first version until you find something that you like. So I actually ended up using another plugin. I used Jitter, which is an animation for Figma. You can actually select like a full section for Jitter and it'll export over. So I'll show you what that looks like. After you like select a frame or a layer, you can copy it, and then that scene will go into Jitter. So we're going to move over there. Now we're inside of Jitter, and I highly recommend that you make your Jitter account before exporting it over, just so it's a seamless transition. After you use Jitter, there's these animations that you can use on your Figma designs, and then you can also animate it with their image to video option. I will show you for right now the desktop number 13 because we made so many iterations. That's just what it was called. I didn't name it anything else. So if I press play, it will go through add in Bliss, your world louder, and it kind of just gave me an idea of how I wanted the transitions to look like before I put it into code. Putting it into code is a different story, but this really definitely helps so I don't have to kind of go back and re-edit things when I could just see what it looks like visually without adding code to it. You can like select any element that you want. For example, you can replace the media even, and if you hit animate, there's this image to video generation thing right here, and I've used it before. It's really, really awesome, but sometimes it doesn't work depending on the file that's imported in. But as you can see here, there's a bunch of animations that you can choose from: spin in, twist out, mass reveal, mass center. You can blur it. Like there's a bunch, and you can also make custom ones if you would like to have custom effects to your hero pages. Then I fired up my next.js and got my project working inside of my VS Code and added all of the elements that I needed to make the website a hit. Simplified version of our design system at our team here at FabBuilds. We do have a UI UX designer on our team, and we have a lot of fun doing challenges as well to try to make our designs more creative and get inspo from places like Cosmo, for example. But I thought to show you guys so you know how you can make pretty cool hero pages. And at this day and time, I know people can tell an AI generated site like a million miles away because everyone is doing it. If you're doing custom designs like this, I promise you, you're going to stand out and you're going to get clients. At FabBuilds, we build these things for our clients. If you want something like this built out for you, just let me know down below. We also have our website in the description box if you want to contact us and book a call. Other than that, guys, I appreciate you watching the video. This is a quick one. I can definitely make more like this. Subscribe down below and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.
DMS.